Daniel Farke has just done his pre-match press conference ahead of Leeds going away to Fulham this weekend. I've watched it so you don't have to, and trust me, this was a long one and the last 10 minutes of it was an absolute chore to get through. So I'm going to save you a load of time. I've made a load of notes as always, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on what the important parts of the press conference were. As always, if you can watch this all the way to the end, drop a comment on it. What I'd like you to do in the comments this week is give me your predictions. What do you genuinely think is going to happen this weekend? Would you take a point? Do you think we can sneak a win? Where you at with the Leeds versus Fulham predictions? So anyway, he started off being asked about deadline day and was he disappointed with the lack of attackers? Because obviously Farke had said multiple times we're still looking for more attacking players to be added to the squad before the window closed. And he said in a word, yes. He likes to be open and transparent. That's his first principle, and to tell it like it is. His other principle is to not comment once the window is closed. Once it's done, it's done. He can't influence the window anymore. So all he has to do is adapt to the new reality and make the most of what he has. And he is here now for the group of players that he has that are Leeds United players. Not ifs and buts and maybes, just the group that he's got right now. He said we wanted a different end to the window, obviously, based on, he's not going to lie, he's going to stand by his comments that he made previously. We wanted some more attacking players, but we now have to be fully focused on the future matches, and first upcoming is Fulham. He has no message for the fans. He was asked by a journalist, do you have a message for the fans? He said, no, I don't have a message for the fans or the press. They're allowed to be disappointed at the transfer window, but it is his job to work with what we have. They do see and read the comments. He says he's seen it himself. He's seen what the press are saying. He's seen people talking about having the same wingers as we had 3 years ago when we get relegated. The players also see this and they use it as motivation. Jack Harrison, Willie Gnonto, Dan James, they're all determined to show people that they are better players than they were 3 years ago in the Premier League. He then went on to talk about how he kind of came into the club almost 2.5 years ago, and he said it was a huge drop. The club was a mess. It was so difficult to steady the ship. The club had just had a relegation. They were losing players. There was contractual issues all over the place. But we did make it back, and now we want to stay for good, and we have the fight, which is always good to hear. And I think Farke, he does talk very, very well, and he talked positively about that fighting spirit. And then the bit that we all care about really is injury news. He said it's mixed news, and this is what was said. Perry is out. He's got quad problems, which he picked up against Newcastle. It's a muscle strain. He's definitely going to miss the next 2 games. There is a question mark on Mecha. He's got a foot issue. And Piru, who's got a bruised calf. There is some good news, though, because Ampadu and Tanaka are back in team training. Ethan's slightly ahead of Tanaka because obviously he got injured first, and he does come back really quickly. It is possible that both are available for the weekend, but it's also possible that only one or neither may be available. They've got to make a decision in the next 48 hours where there's another couple of training sessions. It will be a late one. Byram and Rodon are both ready and both available. Obviously, Rodon had a concussion protocol, and I think Byram had a knock to the head as well. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was spoke about. He does need game time. He is building his fitness. He's been in team training for a while now, and he is starting to look sharper, and we know about the quality that the player has, so Farke's not worried there. He was asked about attacking options. He said we have plenty of players who can step up. I was surprised no one really talked about Okafor. It was like no one was aware of him. I don't know why he wasn't mentioned, but we talked about Gnonto still being young and developing. I was talking about this on live earlier, how people last year were always about, Gnonto got a lot of criticism, and Joseph was always like, oh, he's so young, he needs time to develop. Joseph's older than Gnonto. Gnonto's still only 21, he's 22 in November. But also Jack, Brendan and Dan James have points to prove for different reasons. James, because people say he's not Premier League quality. Brendan Aronson, because of the season he had last time in the Premier League. And Jack Harrison, who needs to prove some consistency. But they've all got points to prove this season. Farke says, let them write us off. It's important for us to stay humble and to be quiet and do our job. It is a big challenge. It's always a big challenge for a newly promoted team. We've seen teams come up and spend loads of money, and look where they are now. We want to break the curse, but we've got to be smart about how we do that. There was a lot more chat. It got very repetitive, a lot of silly questions. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I think that's all you need to know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, follow, all that good stuff.